Hey, what's going on, guys? It's everyone's favorite anime and manga podcast, lOsTAKUS. My name is Eric.
And I'm JT.
Bad boy.
And this week, we're going to go ahead and review chapters 1042 and 1043 of One Piece because Oda's been on his game.
Usually we save One Piece along with our weekly shonen review, but this week, because these chapters, like you said, are really good, it's going to be its own thing because we got a lot of theories after chapter 1043. So this might be not a long one, but it's going to take a bit.
It just depends on, well, you'll see. So getting into chapter 1042,
Where we last left off
from our last SWR,
we pick up with a CP0 getting stabbed by X Drake.
Stabbed by X Drake.
He's like, why? ¿Por qué?
So at this point, Drake is pretty beaten up from like the entire fight.
And he got beat up by these guys. So he apparently snuck up on this guy.
Yeah, and he just came with the sword and just...
Observation hockey was that. Toma!
Jesus.
That's what he did, basically.
He did.
Toma.
And that's why that guy was like, ay, ¿por qué?
It's like, why have you done this?
And X Drake replies to him saying that he's just enacting his own justice. And this CP0 member, who we don't know his name, he just has a bowler hat and he has a scar and he has like freaking doll eyes, one fully black and one fully white. So we will be referring to him as
Bowler hat.
Bowler hat. I'm gonna call him
bowler
Scarface.
I'm thinking yin yang.
Yin yang.
Yin yang.
Bowler hat, yin yang,
yang,
and Scarface. Same CP0 member, because we don't know his name, which makes sense because, you know, CP0 members are usually undercover, so
Top secretive.
we don't know their identities except for Rob Lucci. But is he Rob Lucci or is Rob Lucci the bird?
Bro, imagine if the bird's actually a Zoan. And he's always transformed. Bro.
So the CP0 member replies back to X Drake's statement of him enacting his own justice as he envies him. Then all of a sudden, shave. And next thing you know, pistol finger
Right
pistol.
in the throat. He makes a hole in his throat like he was a long-term smoker. And he just, a lot of y'all people are like, oh, characters aren't really dead. I don't know, right?
A hole in your neck, yeah, that's pretty serious. But
I mean, no. I have a hole in my neck from, previous damage. Look, I'm alive.
He's here to prove it. Never mind.
But this one was like here.
It's okay.
Lower.
Same.
He was in his half zone form, which is usually the strongest
Hybrid,
form.
yeah.
The hybrid form is usually the strongest form that they have.
Mhm.
So he might be
Yeah,
alright.
well, it's One Piece. Most likely he's alive.
Yeah.
Cut to the next scene. It's just back to Wano. Just seeing them in the flower capital having their festivals, festivities, everybody enjoying it. Then we come back to the roof. Kaido versus Luffy.
And at this point, they've been going at it for quite a while. And
Where it last left off in the previous continuous chapters is his Snake Man form, and he's just waiting on him in his Snake Man form.
because the last chapter was, he said that this was his final gear.
He was going all out, and
He was going all out. And Kaido's still drunk.
Drunken fist.
his drunk phases and his attacks.
And this one, we get to see a rather uncomfortable,
It was kind of
weird
creepy.
and creepy. Shout out to Oda for doing this, but he goes into a flirty phase, and I never want to see Kaido make that face ever again.
He said, "Yamete kudasai."
So I'm gonna pull what Robin did when they switched bodies and Frankie was inside Chopper's body and made a face, and Robin's like, "Don't you ever dare make that face in Chopper's body again." Yeah, please don't do this anymore. But Kaido's having fun. He's actually enjoying this fight.
Before we move on, there was this one part which I think some people might have looked into a little bit more when he's getting wailed on by his attacks of Luffy's, and Kaido mentions that he's moving his fist at a whim, and then he mentions that rubber isn't supposed to do this. So I've seen some people online be like, he probably hinted at this. I'm like, no, I think he was just meaning like, don't
never
expect
seen-
rubber.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't expect that to happen. But you know, Luffy has done a lot of things with his body that I don't think
not
rubber
supposed to
should be
happen.
doing. But in this one particular instance, and he used it almost all of those attacks on Kaido. But with Snake Man right here, he said, I don't think rubber should be able to do this.
But I feel like he was just going like really fast, and Kaido was just like, "What's going on?"
But he just specifically said that the trajectories of his punches were moving at a whim,
Yeah,
which surprised him.
it was the same move he used against Katakuri though.
But Katakuri didn't even think twice about it. He was just trying to dodge. But
Yeah.
Kaido was all like,
Winded.
something's up here, my guy.
Kaido's strong enough to stop, think about it,
Yep, he is.
and go back to the fight.
That was a good point.
That's really good. He's like, I can stop and think for a little bit.
Like my boy from Juju, the Toto.
Yeah.
He thinks so fast in that split second.
He was able
It
to
could be
create
insane.
his own backstory with Yuji.
Yeah, and maybe it's like that.
The strong guys,
It's the strong guys that
they have the right to do that. And then he says, hey, don't think you're the only one that could see the future. So basically he was hinting at his observation hockey. So he goes into his dragon form, and you know, Snake Man is pretty fast and he's a huge giant dragon, but even Luffy couldn't hit him. Bro's like, hey.
So you would think like, how is this massive body of a freaking dragon able to move so fast? Yeah,
Hockey, bro.
There you go. He can move extremely fast. I mean, he's had years of experience with his form,
And he is,
so.
Oda literally put, the strongest. So he uses observation hockey to dodge Luffy's punches
Aye.
enough to get in front of him and take a good chomp.
Bites him.
And just flies with him, goes up, looks back down at the island that they're floating on, and does blast breath, which goes
Right through
all
the
the way
island.
through the freaking island. Like they even show a scene. Yamato again is at the basement level, so she's at the very bottom, and even she had a dodge. It's like, whoa.
And after having reading that, I feel like that's what they hinted at in the opening, of the new opening. It shows a blast going through the island and landing. People were thinking it was Law's Shock Willie at first, going through the island. It's in the, you know, the opening when it shows Onigashima and there's like a purple blast coming out of it. Now I'm thinking it was Kaido's
Oh, it was
blast.
Kaido's blast because it went through. I remember
Yeah.
also Mononosuke is on the outside trying to keep the island afloat. Like when Luffy's in the midair, he instantly goes into Bound Man to bounce back to the top. And so as soon as they show a little, like it's like a wide shot, so
Yeah.
they're like tiny. So you see a little tiny dragon and it's like cough cough. And over here it's like boom 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 boom. It's Luffy with Bound Man. So you see kind of Mononosuke still inexperienced at this.
Yeah, no, for sure. But as JT said, Luffy did go into Bound Man form. So he's technically still in Gear 4. It's his last gear.
Again, he mentions it. How many times has he mentioned that? Kind of.
He
like
mentions it
3
after
times.
he comes back up
Yeah.
with in Bound Man
Yeah,
form.
so
He mentions it.
he said it was his last 4th gear, but remember, Bound Man and Snake Man are still 4th gear. So it
it
was just a
counts.
different form.
Yeah, it
So
counts.
he just kept his breath in, transformed, and said he has a limited time. So he has to go all out
Yeah.
again. So he bounces back, goes to the top,
Yep.
meets Kaido again. The Supreme Kongung punches him pretty good, head on. And then after the smoke clears, Kaido comes back out in his hybrid form, his strongest form,
Yeah.
and comes in at Thunder Bagua. So I like that these are their strongest attacks. Supreme Kongun. So you know how in anime or even in pro wrestling, you have your finishing move.
Yeah.
And that's your finisher. But here, they continuously keep doing it.
Finisher
It's like,
after finisher after
This is my
finisher.
strongest attack. I'll keep doing it until you stop getting up.
So just to differentiate as well, a normal Kong gun took out
Dofi.
Doflamingo on Dressrosa.
Mm.
Now he has his Supreme Kong gun, which is Kong gun mixed with Advanced Conqueror's Hockey. He can't take him out with just one. He needs
This
to
is
do
like
multiple.
the third or the second time he's hit him with Supreme Kong gun, and it just
He
doesn't
won't
take
go
him down.
But credit to Luffy too. He's hit him with Thunder
Thunder
Bagua.
Bagua a few times,
He
and
still hasn't
yep.
gone down, bro.
He always says it hurts, but he comes back.
But on, I think it was like the second one, he hit him and he went back and the breath was escaping. He's like, no, come back.
Yeah, in this part when he hit him with Thunder Bagua,
He's like, come back.
it's like I gotta hold. Then in this one, they stay separated and they prepare himself. Kaido hardens his grip on his Thunder Bagua or on his whatever his weapon's called, the club, and then
The spiky baseball
the
bat.
spiky club.
the spiky baseball bat.
And then Luffy prepares his Supreme Kangun again. And this is where we're getting the final scene. This is where everybody knows where this is leading to. The final blow. Conquers hockey, spiking all over the place. They come at each other, running at each other. And right when they're in front of, right near each other, they're both calling out their names. Kaido's like Thunder and Luffy's Supreme. And next thing you know, whoosh, shave. That CP0 Scarface.
Bowler hat.
Yin yang.
He comes in and says Iron Body or Tekkai. And from what me and JT and Beppo have seen, it looked like he grabbed his arm.
Yeah, because he appears right where his Supreme Kangun is loaded. He appears and it looks like he appears right on his shoulder. But you can't see what he does. We've been discussing this. It's Iron Body. It just hardens their body. It makes them tougher physically. So it's kind of weird that he did that or what he did specifically. We don't know, but he did enough to distract Luffy. And Kaido was in the middle of his attack. And in that one moment, it's beautiful. He recalls the part where Higurashi transformed when he's fighting Odin, and Higurashi transformed into Momo to distract Odin, and then Kaido smacked Odin down. And what he did after that, he killed Higurashi for interrupting the fight. And they zoomed in into Kaido. What face do you think he was making? To me, it was like he was like the most pain he's ever felt.
That
he was like, to me, he was having such fun fighting Luffy, right? He was in the mood. He was fighting him.
This one moment,
he's finally has a worthy opponent since Odin, right? And he just took that away from him. He took that fight away from him yet again. That expression
in his face.
Oh,
describe it in one word.
Hatred. To me, that's pure hatred.
I said that's the face of a heartbroken man. Like his heart was broken. Like that's pain. Like that was just,
for me,
like you said, he was having fun. He was just, you ever had your heart broken, bro? If you haven't, go break your heart, bro. And like look in the mirror, that's the face of Kaido. Like pure just sadness.
It's been what, 20 years?
Yep.
2022.
About over 20 years, you could say.
Since he had somebody that he can fight worthy all out, enough, basically.
Yep.
And that is the face of a man who won but was defeated at the same time.
So he, Thunder Bagua, smacks Luffy. That's it.
Luffy goes, exactly like that. Just going back onto the where he like lets his breath escape. You found that funny, right?
Yeah, it's like
you found that funny, right? Did it take anything away from the fight?
No.
My point exactly. No, this is one of the biggest problems that people have with Oda's writing is that
there's comedic
in serious fights he adds comedy. I'm like, what's wrong with that? That was great. Like they're like, no, it should be serious.
That's their opinion. It's like haven't they been reading One Piece this entire time? Like he beat freaking Crocodile by pouring water on himself. That's it.
It was great.
How do you hit sand? You water yourself up and punch.
And it's great.
Water yourself up.
I don't understand why people have an issue with that. For me, it doesn't take anything away from the fight. It just makes it just adds like a little bit of comedy into it. It's funny.
I find that weird because it's like you should be used to it.
But people aren't. Or people getting into One Piece, that's something that they don't like about it either. Like if they're starting it and they're like, oh, it's just
they're probably used to like enough. Mostly shonen, they're just fighting. It's rare when you see something comedic like that, and usually doesn't happen unless the character's OP. So.
They just want to like, there's a serious battle. I want you to take it seriously.
He is taking it seriously. Absolutely, he's taking it seriously. 100%. It's just sometimes there's just funny moments that happen.
Always.
So, but that's one of my little
look at Zoro. He's staring at the Grim Reaper.
You don't know what's happening.
He's dying. That's a serious thing.
It's not though.
They showed Brook. He was still running with Robin.
He's far away from where Zoro is, so he's actually looking at death in the face.
Yeah, that's a serious moment with some funny allegory.
It's a serious moment, but we laugh at his pain. But that was pretty much 10:42, so we'll go right into 10:43.
And it still cuts off right there. Luffy in a crater.
Just defeated.
Oh, he looks so dead.
And at this point, that's one hell of a way to start off a chapter. I was reading and my mouth was just open. I was just like, no, this can't be happening. And it says,
rooftop battle, victory,
Kaido. So Kaido.
Luffy is down.
Oda said it. Author's notes right there. You get who won.
Kaido won. So Luffy lost again.
He's
This is the
looking.
second, third time, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
third.
This is the only person to hand him 2 defeats.
2 defeats in a row. Bittersweet. So bitter. He looks at that CP0 Scarface.
Kaido looks at Bowler Hat,
You know what's next, son.
and he's like, "You realize what you've done, don't you?"
Lifts up his club.
And in the moment before he strikes it down, I'm guessing the CP0 guy saw his other CP0 friend, and he says,
Yeah, because he was looking down. He's like staring at Kaido. No, he's not even staring at Kaido. He's just looking down. He's like, I know what's coming, bro. I know what's coming.
He didn't want to look at it.
He tips his hat down, and meanwhile, there's another CP0 member who stayed in the mansion of Orochi or Kaido, and he's also looking up at the roof,
and he's like,
he like tip to the hat to you, my friend.
"Cause you're dead." I'm sorry.
And Thunderboggle, bro. Did you see the force when Luffy got hit? Luffy's in a crater.
Yeah.
This guy got hit. It destroyed the roof, bro.
With that single blow, yeah, he's dead, bro.
That guy is dead.
There's no saving him, bro.
He's like, I'm not even gonna use shave, bro. I'm gonna die.
even the power of the pen can't save this guy, man. He is dead.
Like the last video when me and Eric were talking about the last few chapters, when he got the order to go up there, he's like, no, this is why. This is exactly why.
No.
Which is why he told X Drake, I envy you when X Drake says I'm enacting my own justice because this is something I want to do. At that moment, that CP0 Scarface guy was like, well, I don't want to do this, but I got no choice, bro. That's why I envy you.
Oh my god.
All roads lead to doom.
After that happens, Kaido transforms back into his dragon form and just comes down.
Oh, well, before he comes down, we cut to Mononosuke, and he's all like, oh, I can't hear Luffy's voice.
Yep.
Luffy's dead, bro.
So by the people are kind of confused as to why he's able to do this. He does not have haki. This is not haki he's using. He's using the voice of all things, of which he was born with.
Just another ability.
It's an ability to be able to hear, as it says, the voice of all things, everything.
Even if it's
animals,
inanimate.
humans, even if it's animate. What are the blocks? The blocks.
The blocks.
Poneglyphs.
The poneglyphs. You can even hear poneglyphs because Goldie Roger was able to hear them. So that's what he's using to be able to hear Luffy. And then it cuts to Law also saying the same thing, and he's like, I can't hear Luffy's voice anymore. But that one's a confusing one. A lot of people are confused and torn between is that his haki? Because Kid doesn't say anything. Kid doesn't say that. Only Law says it. So
was it a Will of D thing?
So it's either two theories I have about it. It's either like, Conqueror's Haki, advanced form of Conqueror's Haki, where, they're born with it. Same thing with Conqueror's Haki. Not everybody has Conqueror's Haki.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that the people that are born with Conqueror's Haki, that's a form that they have.
Yeah.
Or as well, it's I don't want to say a gene.
Inherited?
it's inherited.
Inherited from the bloodline of the D.
But it's just funny to think that Momonosuke might have Conqueror's haki. Nah, bro,
He probably can.
Look at his family bloodline.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it. I mean, look at Luffy. He has Luffy, Dragon.
We don't know if
God.
Dragon has Conqueror's haki though.
Bro.
That's not been confirmed. It's not been confirmed. You can.
I mean,
So
how
far-
many
so
times have you
far-
seen him fight and you just see him, hey, what's up, guys?
So far, like the OP guys have had
Exactly.
Conqueror's Haki, so
Momonosuke is not OP though.
But he comes from a bloodline of it.
Yeah, he does.
So that's why I think it's in their genes. So
yeah. But Law hasn't shown any form of Conqueror's haki
Uh-huh.
though. So at this point, another question that I want to ask is, did he actually die? Or is he knocked out? And
Well-
I say that because, I'll bring that on at the end. That's towards the end.
So he's taking so many Thunder Bagua attacks. It's hard for me to imagine that last one killed him, even though it made a crater. It's pretty. I don't think he was dead, but he's like a dead store.
Zoro.
I pointed. Yeah, so Death is right now at Zoro, and he's probably like chomping at Zoro, and Zoro's rolling around. So Death is a little bit busy right now.
Yeah.
So he's not going after Luffy yet.
Just yet.
But the images that we got of Luffy, he looked dead.
Yeah.
Like the worst he's looked
I've
since.
ever seen. Yeah.
For me, since Crocodile dried him up.
That's true.
That's the worst.
That was disgusting. But after the whole monologue gets taking place, Kaido comes down and
he
then
roars, bro.
And then Kid and Law are like, "Oh no!"
Remember what we said last time?
And it's funny because of what I said last time. It is like, if he's coming down, like, you better hope Luffy wins, because You don't want that to
we're
happen.
done.
No, he's
And then what they see, what comes up from the roof,
their worst
dragon.
fear. And he's
Oh
like,
my guy, dang! And then all the cronies that were left are like, "Oh, it's Kaido-sama," and he's all like, "Bring me your leader. Bring me the little rope Momonosuke. Straw Hat Luffy is dead." Fodder characters
They're like,
get a second win, and they turn to Law and Kid, and they're like, "Yeah, let's kill him." He's all like, Kaido is still like, everybody else got taken down. The numbers and all his others. What were they called?
the Tobiropo.
The Tobiropo. Everybody's down.
Commanders are done.
But Kaido
left.
is the only one up. So that's enough for Fodders think that they have a chance against everybody else. So they go. And again, Law and Kid are wasted, but their crewmates protect them. And then we cut to Chopper and Nami. Chopper is crying immediately. You know, Chopper is easy, subtle to lies.
He's emotional. He's emotional. That's what he is.
And then after that,
I love this scene. I love that scene with Nami.
And Nami runs out.
She runs straight at Kaido, calls him a liar. It's like that. He's
face.
lying. He's all like, and she runs because she was at the roof, and she runs straight at him, and she just yells at him, "You liar! Luffy can't die. That's impossible."
She's one of the ones that always has faith in him and never, like, even whenever her life's in danger, she never gives up. Like, no, he's gonna win. He's coming back. Like,
That face she
has
made too.
belief in him.
And it's funny because Kaido.
She was holding back her tears.
And it's funny because at this point, Kaido's fought everybody. Like everybody that is like really strong and even like weaker characters, he's fought a lot. He came down from that roof and said, "Who wants to smoke, bro? Like whoever wants some can step up, bro. Cause I can still fight, bro."
He tells them like, "Y'all made your choice. This is a war, and y'all lost. Y'all lost your right to speak and your right to live."
But whoever wants to step up, catch these hands, bro, can step up. And Nami stepped up and called him a liar to his face. And he basically said, "The ball's on this girl, bro."
He basically said, "Well, there's still some here that haven't gotten their will broken yet." So he charges up, blast breath, bro. And he blasts right at her. And thank goodness, Marco for the freaking save, bro.
What if she only said it because she knew Marco was nearby?
Nah, bro. She just said it because she was angry.
But no, it's funny because she runs out and even Marco says, he's like, "What are you doing? Get back in here."
No,
he's like, nah.
he's all like, "Back up, like you're right, like we can't give up, not until the last man is down.
Yeah.
Like not until our last breath, bro. We get up and we keep fighting." It's like, so everybody's getting ready. Then you see Nekomamushi, Carrot, you see a bunch of characters gathering up. So all the people that have fought so far that can still move are all coming together to where Kaido's at. But we cut to a conversation that Momonosuke and Yamato are having, which was the title of this chapter. Well, something that Yamato says. And Momonosuke, again, he's still an 8-year-old kid. He got
in here.
Yep, he got a 20-year a power boost. Well, not power boost, but age up.
He aged up.
Yep, but he's still mentally a child. So he's all like, "Luffy's down. We gotta give up." He says we gotta surrender. There's no hope. If Luffy couldn't defeat Kaido, then none of us have a chance. And Yamato gives a great speech. Like, bro, this 20 years of hard work. The former daimyo died with full of regret that for having Orochi rise up to power, and all of this, that everything that's happened to this country, all the people that have starved, all the people that have suffered, this is 20 years. Everything has been coming to this moment, to this final battle. Like, what's the point of surrendering? If we surrender, then we're just gonna be slaves. We're gonna be tortured until the ends of our lives, and all we'll have is like the daimyo regret. So instead of surrendering, which is a smart thing to do, but I'd rather if we die together. And that was the title of this chapter. We die together. She told an 8-year-old child, "We gonna die, kid." But there was a good scene of her.
That was a really good scene. I can't wait to see that animated. That's gonna be impactful and powerful. For those that didn't know, the anime is on an indefinite hiatus because Toei got hacked by the hacker man, whoever it might be. If you're watching this, you suck. You suck, my guy. We're 2 episodes away from getting the freaking rooftop. You suck, bro. Whoever you are. I hope you watch this, man. But yeah, so for those that didn't know, it's an indefinite hiatus until TBA further notice. So, yes, cry. After Yamato's amazing speech, Momonosuke hears Zunisha, and Zunisha is talking, "I can hear it, Momonosuke. The drums of liberation." And I was like, what what does that mean, bro?
And then he
And then he continues on.
We got a shot of Luffy. Foreshadowing.
He's on the ground and he's like already done. Joy Boy has returned. And then at the end, the very last panel,
we get another shot of Luffy, but this time something's happening to him.
He is smiling
and melting.
And somehow melting.
Like he's melting. Like his hair, his head. It's not his hat, because he had his hat on his back. He was in the middle of a fight. He always put his hat behind him. But Luffy is melting with a big grin.
The internet absolutely blew up after this chapter. Everybody was talking about this. Like, this was trending on Twitter and everything. Everybody was like losing their freaking minds, right? So at this point, this is the point that we get into the theory part.
Yes. So let's just first hear Eric's theory. We'll go with what we think this means.
At this point, when I saw this and I read this, there were two thoughts that crossed my mind. The first one was, oh my God, this is absolutely insane. And the second part was, I hope I don't hate this. And I'm saying this because one of the ideas that crossed my mind after reading this was, how is this going to work? How does this work? And the thing that I wanted, that I don't want it to be, is Joy Boy was always inside Luffy. That would be the biggest upsetting thing for me. And this is me, right? I would hate it if Oda comes back in the next chapter or the chapter after that, whenever he decides to explain this to us, is that Joy Boy has always lived inside Luffy.
So it's like me, I kind of hate this whole trope. That the one biggest thing, this is what ruined Naruto for me, this whole destiny. They were destined, like Naruto and Sasuke were destined to battle each other. Again, this, exactly what you're saying. If Luffy was destined always to have Joy Boy within him,
that was his soul.
The only out that I would be okay with, and at this point I don't like to do like my own fan fiction or whatever, right? But this is the only out that would work for me. Luffy awakened the Gomu Gomu no Mi. At the same time, the Gomu Gomu no Mi is not the Gomu Gomu no Mi, because we're cutting back to where who's story about him failing to protect the Gomu Gomu no Mi on the government ship. And the government
stolen
ship,
by Shanks.
And it was stolen by Shanks, and it was so bad that they had to freaking outcast who's who from the government. They haven't confirmed it yet. I'm just going based off like what we have so far, and this is my personal take on it, is when the elders, the 5 elders, were talking about a certain devil fruit, and that the people know it as a different name, but they know the true name for it. And I think they're talking about the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And the reason all of this is happening to Luffy and why Joy Boy has returned or awakened is because he has awakened the Gomu Gomu no Mi. To me, I don't want anything of Joy Boy's soul to be in it or anything like that. I want it to be like his powers. That was his devil fruit. And because he awakened the extra power to it, because we have awakening, it would make sense. People have awakened devil fruits and their abilities extend onto other stuff. So the awakened form, and we get the true name of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, which is quote unquote Joy Boy. And yeah, I just don't want Joy Boy to have to do with anything. I don't want his spirit to possess Luffy. I don't want him to be inside of Luffy. I don't want him to be inside the devil fruits. It's just he awakened the powers. That's it. Because I don't want the trope of, as JT said, I don't want the trope of, oh, they had this thing living inside of him, or there's a spirit living inside of this thing. No, I don't want any of that, because it's been done. It's been done. Don't do it, please, Oda.
But this is shouting. It's a bunch of tropes. That's the tropes all over. That's all anime is. A bunch of tropes retold in a different form, right? So One Piece can do this, and it has done this. Power of friendship, as usual. This is Oda. So far, I've trusted Oda for the last decade.
Yeah. Also, the thing that I was going to bring up earlier, that Kaido said, we don't know if Luffy's dead or not, right? We don't know if Luffy's dead or not. But
he's not. Like I said, the Grim Reaper is busy with Zoro.
True. But this one thing that he said to Kimon right before he quote unquote killed him, because he didn't. But he said, death is what makes a person complete. So quote unquote Luffy has to quote unquote die in order to be fully complete.
If you think about it, he's been
that's the only way they can awaken their abilities, maybe.
Luffy's been in death's door so many times. Ivankov healed Luffy from death twice.
Oh, yeah.
this would make sense because he's fighting the strongest in the world. So I think it took fighting someone as strong as Kaido to awaken his fruit.
Yeah.
Your theories?
I mean, it could either be two things. You're talking about the souls. I don't think he is a soul living inside Luffy, but a soul living inside maybe the devil fruit. And not so much his soul, but his memories of his life past. You know, what he did during his lifetime and what he could do with his devil fruit. And maybe in this form where Luffy's unconscious, he's seen all Joy Boy's memories and he's unlocking the powers of the devil fruit. So that's what I'm kind of thinking of, you know.
I absolutely love that. I like that a lot. That's because he can learn the true history through the memories too. I like that.
And everybody's been waiting for Joy Boy to return.
Luffy doesn't care about the void century, the lost history. Luffy doesn't care about the minor information. He's just single track minded.
But he cares about the power. He needs the power to defeat Kaido.
Yeah.
So I mean,
in the shonen aspect, he's more like, I want the power.
He's just fighting, just overcoming his opponents. That's all he wants to do. Because they're in his way to the One Piece. So anybody that stands in his way of his journey, he's gonna take him out one way or another.
But who are the people that Luffy respects the most, if you think about it?
Shanks.
Okay, and who else? He respects
his
he respects a lot of people. He respects Rayling, Garp. So I don't know about Garp really. But he respected Roger, you know, all these great people, but he respected them for one reason and one reason alone. They were free to do whatever they want, and they didn't care about, you know, rules. They didn't care about conquering. They cared about being free, and they cared about their friends and family. And one thing about Luffy, he always wants to protect the ones he cares about, you know, his loved ones. So Joy Boy might have been that person, that might have been his persona, and he's seen those memories, and he respects him as a person, what he was before. So maybe that brings him into, you know, wanting to look at these memories and all that.
So what I was trying to get at with him being one track minded is that your theory kind of brings everything together. So Luffy doesn't need to go to what we've been throughout this whole story, because he's been ignoring all of it. And with that, then he already knows everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the One Piece is, but he kind of gets the overall gist of what this whole journey has been about, what Joy Boy has been about.
Because who has the last red poneglyph?
Who knows?
So the Minks had it. Kaido, Big Mom had one.
Kaido has one,
right? There's three. There's four in total.
Yeah.
Maybe unlocking Joy Boy unlocks the location of the fourth.
Yeah, it's necessary to get to the final island. So, but we'll see.
Something that I want to happen is just something that I don't like that happens, right? So in this case, I didn't like this. When we first read it, and me and Eric talked after, we didn't talk about our theories, but I just told him I don't like this. I really, this is probably the most detestable thing I've seen in moment. Again, because exactly like you, I don't like the trope of the destined one. And I don't like the fact that, because Luffy was quite a different character for a regular shonen protagonist. But you see, you got Naruto, and when he was part of the big three, it was Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. And what did you have with Bleach and Naruto? Naruto had the nine-tailed fox. That's how he got his big power boost, right? And also Sage Mode. Still, Kurama was his biggest power boost, right? So he always had that, someone within him that gave him that power boost. Then what do we get with Ichigo? Ichigo, he was written to be the one above all. Like, he was the center of the freaking universe. He has Quincy powers. That's not a spoiler. He has Soul Reaper powers. He's a human. And then he has a hollow. Having that inner power, that sentient inner partner, right? Kurama, Zangetsu, or the hollow, right? I don't want I don't want Luffy to have that. That's not. So again, like you said, I don't want it to be Joy Boy taking over Luffy's body and him having two beings inside of himself. That would suck. If this is temporary, I'm okay with it. If this, for some reason, one part of my theory is that Joy Boy was within the Gomu Gomu no Mi. That out of all the devil fruits, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, that's where Joy Boy was. Was it his power? I don't know. Is it possibly his power? Probably. Remember, Zunisha, Zoe, the big elephant that's walking around, was, as you mentioned in the last video, he was ordered by someone to walk the earth forever. Why was that? Because he helped Joy Boy. Why did he help Joy Boy? What's so special about Zunisha? This is just something random. This is just something fun that I'm throwing out there, okay? Is what if Joy Boy's power, because we don't know anything about Joy Boy, what if his power was to make devil fruits?
That's what I was about to say. So that's what I was about to interrupt you and say that. So that's why he's been banished for 800 years or 1,000?
Yeah, 800.
800 years. So in those 800 years past, whenever Joy Boy was alive, he created all the devil fruits. He is the originator of the family of D. And the last devil fruit he ever created was the Gum Gum no Mi. And he sealed, like in
A part of
bringing to
himself.
Naruto, you know how Minato sealed a part of his soul inside Naruto with the Death Reaper seal?
Mhm.
So he can talk to him later on in the future. That's bringing back to my theory about his memories and everything.
Yeah.
So
That'll be good. So that's what I'm theorizing. What's so special about Zunisha except for being a giant elephant? I think that island on his back is where Joy Boy started creating the devil fruits, and so nobody can get it. He was meant to walk around the earth like a far away, so nobody can to get to them. But of course, there's people living in there, the minks. But not only that, they've been attacked before. They've mentioned that they've been attacked, so people have gotten in there, and they probably took some of the devil fruits with them, and that's how devil fruits spread across the land. And so it just happens. It's not that it so happens, because again, like bringing up the will of D, all the D clans, it's not that it's a coincidence that Luffy woken up. I think Luffy, he completed so many, he did so many things to unlock the power of Joy Boy. It's like it could have been anyone with the will of D. So all of these will of D members all had the possibility to awaken the power of Joy Boy, but it's just Luffy met all the requirements.
criteria.
And I back that up, because even Kaido has said you're not him when he first beat him. Well, not the first time, but the second time he knocked him off the island. When he knocked him off the island, he looked at Luffy and he's like, you weren't him. Like, it sucks, but you know, you're not Joy Boy.
So
but he was referencing Joy Boy. He's like, you're not him. So I feel like we could say that's accurate.
With the conversation of King and Kaido, that King wanted
Kaido to
be Joy Boy. So in their mindset, Joy Boy wasn't a person, but a title. But now that what's happening to Luffy, and plus all the history that's happened, and I find that weird that they're now trying to make Joy Boy a title, even though it's fact that he is a person. The poneglyphs, the red poneglyphs and other special poneglyphs, they're basically letters from Joy Boy. That's how they found out about Joy Boy, because it said Joy Boy. But those are the history. And here's the weird thing, if you ever thought about this, Joy Boy lived 900 years ago, and then 800 years ago, the poneglyphs started showing up because they were made by the Kozuki clan. There's a 100-year gap there. The stories of Joy Boy have been around the world, and it wasn't until the poneglyphs showed up that they started setting them up. So I think that Joy Boy, a person, wrote like a list of things to do when he dies, or in the events of my death, right?
A will.
Like a will.
Will of D.
That is the will of D.
That is the will of D's, the story of Joy Boy and all these poneglyphs, right? But now we know it as a person, and for some reason or another is taking over Luffy's body. Probably. It'd be funny if Luffy gets up and he's like, whoa, I'm melting, bro.
The actual form of the Gum Gum fruit is it's resin, like the
actual tree saps that make rubber naturally.
Exactly. And I had found this in a comment. Somebody from Brazil said, like, yeah, we like there's certain trees or whatever that they use for rubber down here. Where did Oda say Luffy was from if he was a real person? Brazil.
Yeah,
like, bruh, like that's
he already
wild,
has this
bruh.
planned up. So
He's
who
had this
knows?
planned up, bro.
But if y'all didn't know, Joy Boy is an actual mythology in real life.
I did not
Joy
know
Boy
that.
comes from African mythology.
Really?
There is an African deity called Joy Boy.
What? That's crazy.
I've joked around about this, but what if? So the two people I think that know what's the history of what's going on, the One Piece.
The voice entry or the One Piece?
Yeah, everything. The people that know the most, aside from the five elders, the world government, is Shanks and Marshall D. Teach. Shanks had the Gomu Gomu no Mi, which Luffy just by a whim ate that fruit.
So what I think is, speaking of that, you know how Gold Roger talked to Shanks separate, and he was crying, emotional. He was sending him his goodbyes and everything.
Yep.
But I feel he told him, my time is near. I need you to do me one last favor. This is my last order to you as your captain. Find them Gom Gom no Mi devil fruit.
Damn.
So,
because he knows the voice entry. He knows everything.
Remember how I've told you before that what if Marshall D. Teach was looking for the Gomu Gomu no Mi instead of the Yami Yami no Mi, because they look similar, except the Yami Yami no Mi looks a little bit more weird. What if that's what he was aiming for, the Gomu Gomu no Mi as well? Teach. And he already knows he's Marshal D Teach. He probably already knows the history of the Will of D, or it's been passed down to him one way or another. It's not a coincidence that he was part of Roger's crew. And what if he already knew that Shanks got the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and then Teach ain't stupid. He's like, well, it's Shanks. He's pretty strong. I traveled with him. I can't take it from him. So he says, my next best move is to take the Yami Yami no Mi that can take Devil Fruit abilities.
But he did fight him though.
Yeah, but he didn't take him down.
Yeah, he didn't take him down, but
They know something.
yeah. No, Shanks definitely knows something, because who else but him could pull up to the world government unannounced, cloaked up, and be like, I need to talk to y'all. They're like, all right.
Because it's
bro.
you, we will allow it.
I was like, bro, what does that even mean, bro? Like, that was chapters ago. That was like almost a year ago, bro. What does that mean?
So right now it's affecting Luffy's body like if it's a Logia, right?
It might be a Logia.
It might, if everything that we've known about the Gomu Gomu no Mi is a lie,
fake.
is what I told Eric. Like, what if it's actually a Logia fruit instead of a Paramecia?
Bruh.
Or what if it's all 3 fruits? It's the max fruit.
Ooh, what if he awakened it and it becomes all 3?
The zone type, he turns into a tire. But it'll make sense. I mean,
Gears, he goes vroom.
all 4 arms turn into tires. He gets in the bottom of the boat and he starts paddling, so he can go on dry land.
So you know how he becomes round with Bound Man, right?
Yeah.
Then he goes round, but he makes himself into tires and becomes the Michelin Man.
I'm so done, bro. Michelin Man
That's his-
Luffy.
That's his zone.
He's like, and this is my gear
Your
fit,
fit,
Michelin
Michelin
Man.
Bro.
I'm done, bro. I can't.
Maybe the Gomu Gomu no Mi isn't a Paramecia, but a Logia.
Yeah, this entire time, dude. And then I feel like, the Lunarians have something. They have to tie into this, bro. The Lunarians,
Yeah.
bro. What if Joy Boy was a Lunarian? And what if he just says he got his powers from outer space?
The devil fruits come from outer space. So I always hate this. Right? Attack on Titan kind of did this. Naruto obviously did this with Boruto. Ugh. But I wouldn't hate this because you can reach the moon with balloons.
Exactly. It's not that hard to get up there. And then speaking of which, a lot of people on the interwebs, One Piece fans, hate Skypiea.
The arc itself.
Yes, the arc itself. This is to y'all. This is in your face. Now you realize how crazy important Skypiea was. From Skypiea, Oda let us know that this was gonna happen. I had show Bet Boy this, but it's one of the final scenes before the arc ends, and they're having that giant party, and Luffy is dancing, and Luffy does like this pose, and you see a shadow of it. When Who's Who brings up the story of the sun god to Jinbei, it shows a little picture. He's doing the exact same pose. But the craziest thing about this that I didn't pay attention to either until I saw the picture. Behind him is Usopp. He's playing drums behind Luffy.
Drum of Liberation.
Bruh. But even then, you realize, yo, there's an island in the sky. And then later on, he introduces like the little, he does the little side story with Enel going up to the moon. I'm like, bruh, I don't know why y'all hate on Skypiea. It was banger.
Great.
Y'all suck.
Now remember this, Fisherman Island, the Ark of Noah, that the boat. Remember, they were protecting it.
Yep.
It got damaged during the battle, but they said we're saving it until Joy Boy. Shirahoshi incidentally saved it by calling the Sea Kings, and they took it, right? So now what happens? Joy Boy has returned. The Shirahoshi go like, we gotta go, bro.
And takes him to Wano.
That's so funny. It's like, whoa, what's happening, right? Imagine freaking Bartolomeo right now. He must be freaking out. He's just watching Luffy's favorite card is dying.
Oh,
remember they made a Viver card for everybody that
joined Bartolomeo's little
the Grand Fleet. The Grand Fleet for the Straw Hats. He's just watching this burn. He's just like, point me to him, bro. Where is he at?
We're all going, kid.
We might get the Grand Fleet.
Woo! What if
I could only imagine how he feels right now? It's just like, Luffy senpai.
By the end of this, we'll get the whole Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Then we'll get Shirahoshi with a bunch of Sea Kings and the freaking Noah ship.
So bringing in the Ark of Noah, and what you're talking about, the Lunarians, right?
Yeah.
That Joy Boy was from the moon. So what if that ship is the ship he used to get to the moon to Earth?
With balloons.
But the moon is an advanced civilization, and they formed their own little island before it was destroyed. You know, the island was destroyed.
Yeah.
And that's the 100-year void.
A 100-year void is a history of Earth, or the.
But the history of the Lunarians when they were on Earth and they weren't in the moon.
I see. Yeah. At this point, we might just get the whole everybody of there. I really just want to.
It wouldn't make sense though, because I mean, who's left? Kaido.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But they show up. They show up at the end, right? When everything's over.
What's up?
He's like, "Hey man, I saw you die. Look, there's a little piece of paper. Look, bro.
Where is he at, bro? Where is he at? Where's Luffy senpai?"
And then they go and see Zoro's dead body.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
He said, "Don't say that."
Nah, he just opens his eye.
I've been waiting for that moment.
I can't die, bro.
Yeah, bro. That eye is just. I think Mihawk just cut it.
So
I don't know.
It's an advanced form of observation hockey that he keeps hitting.
I think
The
someone
Sharingan.
has to show up, whether it's Shirahoshi. No, I'm kind of serious about this. Like Shirahoshi, right at that moment, was like, I don't. Like, hey, bro, give me the shit, bro. Get Noah ready, bro. We gotta go. It's the day. It's time. So she shows up because remember, Luffy and the crew have to find out what happened in Reverie. Shirahoshi is probably gonna come around and be like, "Hey, bro, Vivi's been kidnapped," or "Hey, bro, Sabo is imprisoned."
I hope not. I really.
I don't want
hope
to
not.
see
How
that.
are they gonna find out what's the setup for the next arc, right? Someone has to show up to give them the lowdown of what happened in the Reverie.
You don't know. We don't know what happened to Sabo. We don't know what happened to Vivi, right? And you're saying somebody's gonna tell them. Your theory is, what's her name? Shirahoshi.
Mhm.
What if this is finally the moment where Dragon meets Luffy? He asked him for help to save his brother, to save Sabo, to go against the world government.
And then that leads up to the biggest war of all manga history. But I feel like the person that's gonna fill them in for all the information on the Reverie, who else but Big News Morgan's my guy.
Oh, he did escape.
He did escape.
Yeah.
And he's Luffy's fanboy too. He joins the crew.
Nah. Hell nah.
What if he joins they need an information guy, bro? Look at his face. He's like, screw.
I quit.
I don't mind it as long as we get to see how he really looks instead of his hybrid form. I'm curious.
I hope Oda never shows his actual
if
person.
he-
He just
he-
keeps him hybrid form.
What
the
if
whole
Morgan
time.
was in a hybrid form the whole time because he was a Lunarian?
I wouldn't mind that. That'd be.
Bro? They can't find out. They can't find out who I am. So he's like, my name is Big News Morgans.
I thought you couldn't fly. Well, guess what, my guy? I can. I gotta go back to the moon.
Caca!
I'm gonna bring backup, bro. And he
got
comes
you,
with
bro.
he comes back with Eneru and Nell.
I can see that happening too. I can just see Oda bringing him back. Hey, that's the rubber guy I can't beat. I guess I'll help you, bro, since I can't beat you. Can't beat him, join him, bro. But lots of theories to be shared here because it was a wild chapter. It's absolutely crazy.
Wild event. Joy Boy is now Luffy.
Confirmed,
in
possibly?
Luffy.
Or in
well,
Luffy?
it's already been confirmed
That Joy Boy
Tsunesha-
has returned,
unless Tsunesha is like
old.
Joy Boy has returned, and then Luffy gets up, and then Tsunesha's like, wait, the drums sound like they're in a different beat, bro.
And
It's
then
not
you
the same
wake
beat.
up, Zoro wakes up, he has a smile on his face.
I feel like any of these Will of D clan members
Could have been it.
yeah, they had the chance, but it was just Luffy who met all the requirements.
Because he lived in the freest way possible. That so happened Joy Boy lived in the same way. I like that. A lot of theories to be shared here, and it was a really fun conversation. It was, bro, like when you get into the One Piece theories, it's a whole thing. Like,
It could
oh
take
my
more
God.
hours, bro.
We could take longer than what we have so far. We don't at this point. I don't even know how long this has been running. It was extremely fun. I definitely want to hear from other One Piece fans to see what kind of theories y'all come up with. If y'all want it, just leave it in the comments below. And yeah, so a bunch of good stuff.
It's on break.
It is on break, unfortunately. Of course, Oda would leave us with the biggest cliffhanger and then just like, all right, I'm gonna go on break. See you guys. But it's well deserved. He has been putting out banger chapter after banger chapter, so absolutely well deserved. Oda rest up or whatever you do. But anyways, we hope you enjoyed this video and us nerding out about One Piece and all the theories that we had, and we will see you guys in the next video. Out.